I've been known to be somewhat loquacious. For those of you who don't know what that means, then I talk a lot, okay? I'm not gonna bore you with my speech, but in turn, I've written a few notes, and in keeping with the 2-minute timeline, I think I will read them rather than speak them. So please forgive me, but I'm gonna run through this as quickly as I can. I think I can stay within the 2-minute barrier. I don't want this floor to open up. It's a long way down for a 6'6" dude, okay? All right. If you grew up in DC or any other black urban metropolis, we all knew people who were known by only one name. And even if you didn't know them by their face, you knew them by name. Lawrence Bradford was one of those people. Here in the DMV, he was probably best known as Brad. But if you came from the playgrounds of Northwest DC, especially during the 60s, then you knew Brad as Catfish. Why? Others who may know more than I do will speak later in this program today to elaborate on that. Many in the Northwest Mount Pleasant, Calorama, Columbia Heights, and Happy Hollow community simply called him Fish. He made his bones throughout the city as a good athlete in multiple sports, but he was also street smart and tough and fun-loving. In other words, a fierce competitor who left his mark on whatever he pursued. Fish loved competition, so naturally he loved sports. But he also loved the martial arts. He loved his family. He loved good friends, a good party, good food. He loved good music. He loved good clothes. He loved to dance, and most of all, he loved people. Whatever Fish did, he excelled at it and usually took it to the next level. He loved DC and its rich history. He loved so many people in the DMV Athletes in Action, which I represent, that he joined the organization. Lawrence Bradford embodied our motto and our mission, using our success to help others find theirs. So while it's somewhat ironic and entirely appropriate that we turn out here today in large numbers to honor Brad's life and memory, it's not unusual. After all, y'all know how black folk are. It's Friday, so pass the hot sauce, because everybody loves fish. Thanks very much.
Please stand up real quick so you can be recognized. Everybody knew that Brad loved music. So I want you to just close your eyes a minute and think that this is Brad up here talking to you. And the tribute is going to be in song titles from music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I want to see how many you know. Hey, you, as Jackie Wilson would say, let me tell you a story untold. Born to be together with longtime friend Clyde Carrington at the same hospital on the same day and in rooms next to each other. Come on home with me back to 2400 17th Street. It's back to school again, and Leroy Green and I grew up on the same block and were friends and classmates starting in kindergarten. Yes, little Billy, you grew up with us as well. Hey, Mr. Taxi Driver, let Leroy and I open the doors for the white kids going to Calorama Road skating rink. You know, back then, blacks were not allowed. But lo and behold, all in good time, we were among the first to go on Saturdays when we were allowed in the skating rink. School is out, and I'm headed to the basketball court. On a Sunday afternoon, it's all in the game. You can shoot your shot, because as long as I'm moving, I'm like a Rocket 88. The best is yet to come. Can I get a witness? Bidwist games at Kenny's, Phil's, and my house were regular. Let's not rule out watching the Redskins game. Believe it or not, I like to have fun. It don't make sense that there were no places for us to dance. So early one morning, I started in oldies at the Peking Duck. From there, Ace Parker and I started oldies dance every Friday at the Arabian Room, and later we were back to the chapel again at St. Augustine's Church. They were all short-lived. There's a thrill up on the hill. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Everybody's jump, rock and roll. It was such sweet soul music at the Ibex with DJ Vernon. Some of the best hand dancers in D.C. were rocking with the clock. Melvin, Leroy, Clyde, Johnny, Kenny, Glenn, JJ, just to name a few. Of course, you know about too many fish in the sea. There was only one fish, and that's me. There were pretty girls everywhere. So if you were a true fine mama and you knew who you were, the guys would ask, what you gonna do? Put on your high heel sneakers, it's twine time. We're gonna shake a tail feather, boogaloo down Broadway while we're twisting the night away. Do not forget Phoenix, La Mystique, Circles, Honey Hole, and Yesterday's Lounge. 3:33, that's right, we were rocking around the clock at 3:30 in the morning. At least twice a year, I was sitting in the park with Oldies Inc. at the Stone Soul Picnic. Good food and lots of dancing in the street. You know, I'm a legend. The joke's on you. Our Oldies group, it was called the Legends, the only group with two males plus two females, Maxine and V. Okay, tick-tock. The clock says it's time to go now. I'm going to run to catch the midnight special train. But I decided to walk slow and take the stairway to heaven. Don't cry anymore. No more tears. I'll ease the pain and let you know it's all right. I'm a happy man. Mommy and Daddy greeted me at the pearly gates and said, welcome home. I was sitting on the dock of the bay with my brother, Darnell, where peaceful waters flow, talking about the good old days. I'm not gonna hang up my rock and roll shoes because I saw my old dance partner, Lulu. One day soon, we're gonna be at the hop, getting on the good foot and dancing to White Cliffs of Dover. Before I go, listen to the words. You know I like to tell a joke, but I'm gonna keep it clean. To the guys of my oldies crew and classic dancers, and I do mean old, have mercy, baby. Let the good times roll. Just remember, your body is like a car, because when you cough or sneeze, your radiator leaks and your exhaust backfires. It's too late for you to turn back the hands of time. You're like Father Time and Old Man River, so how do you stop? Ladies, don't think I'm gonna let you get away with anything. I'm gonna tell it like it is. For those of you that think young, and I noticed I said think, you talked too much back in the day. You knew Michael the Lover was with Long Tall Sally and Lucille. You knew Casanova dated Nadine, Gloria, Bernadette, and Maybelline, all at the same time. Now look at you. All of you are seeing the same man right now, so you can't talk that talk. And if you want me to tell you who he is, it's Mr. Arthur. Arthritis in your back, in your hip, in your leg. You need a tune-up, so you better get on it. Paige, looking back, I know I was sometimes a bad boy, but if I could turn back the hands of time, I would tell you, you gave me love and happiness, and I'm so thankful. To my children, every night I thank the man up above. All my love belongs to you, forever and always. To the rest of my family, funny how time slips away. You are all like 1,000,000 to 1, and I love you 1,000 times. To all of you, 12 months of the year, I'll always watch over you. So I won't say goodbye, just thank you and good night until I see you again. Truly yours, Brad.
I give my brief 2 minutes, and I mean 2 minutes, so everybody has to listen. I would like for all the members of Smooth and Easy, instructors, students, past and present, please stand. Quickly, please stand. Now look around. Look around. This was one of Lawrence Bradford's legacies. What he wanted from each of you, he wanted to touch each of you, to be able to dance. He did not want this dance to die. Whatever style you put on it, that was what you put in your repertoire. Brad wanted each of you, the instructors as well, to teach people to continue this dance. Brad not only had a song in his heart, but Brad had a dance in his heart, which led to the song. But Brad wanted to teach each and every one of you. Thank you. In 1992, Brad was approached by the late Larry Beasley. He was the owner of the Eclipse nightclub, about teaching hand dance lessons. During that time, the Eclipse was recognized as one of the largest dance clubs in Washington, D.C., where the DJs played music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Brad contacted Priscilla Wiley. The two of them held their first hand dance class under their own names, which was short-lived, because Brad had an idea. His idea was he created the Smooth and Easy Hand Dance Institute. He is the founder, the CEO, and still the lead master instructor who created the Smooth and Easy, and I will repeat that again, Hand Dance Institute, where he and the late Lulu Shelton began teaching hand dance classes at the Eclipse. Our first class graduated 32 students. Brad taught some of us, I was one of those, I was very young at that time. He taught some of us to be instructors and to help him, because he saw he had a vision that this would really grow, which it actually did. So what we did was, Brad became so popular that our first class that we held for our first graduation was over 150 students, and we graduated 4 classes per year. So we were averaging 150 students or more per graduation, which we all learned under the leadership of Lawrence Bradford. So to date, Smooth and Easy has graduated well over 15,000 students, and I think he deserves a hand for that. Now, our classes included students from all walks of life, all nationalities, from the age of 6.5, and she is here today, 6.5 to 80 years old. And I remember the 80-year-old, she was able to do a split. And some people in classes who were like 20, they couldn't do what she did. She was full of life and everything. That was one of his satisfying challenges. But the most challenging thing that Lawrence did was he visually, he had a vision. A group of visually impaired students and a hearing impaired student. Brad taught them to dance. And he had, like I said, he had it, it was in his heart, and they learned that. Also, our DJ for our first 49 classes was Disco Bird. He was our DJ at each and every one of those. In teaching the basic hand dance, bop, the walk, the skate, and the cha-cha was not enough for Brad. Brad expanded that to where he went to West Coast Swing, where he taught many of his students, including Brad himself. They competed and they won. We won many competitions. One thing I want to say is Lawrence Bradford will always be recognized and respected as one of the masters of the dance community. So please keep that in your heart, and please keep dancing.
I'd like to thank the family for this opportunity to give some reflections on my good friend Lawrence Bradford. I know Lawrence, I know Catfish, I don't know Brad. I leave that up to my younger brother, who's an honorary pallbearer here today, because he was a part of Smooth and Easy. Friends are made and kept in 3 ways. First, by honoring them in their presence. Second, by saying good things about them in their absence. And third, by serving them in their needs. All of you are here today to honor Lawrence in his absence. Lawrence and I spent many moments in each other's home. Boy, 17th Street. Front door never locked. Everybody was welcome. The Bradford home was full of love and discipline. And I stress the word discipline. Dwayne, Annette can tell you and confirm what I'm getting ready to say. On several occasions, Lawrence's brother, who I still love dearly, Darnell, would get all of us in trouble. And Miss Florine would bring on the discipline, as only she could do. We attended St. Augustine's Parochial Catholic School. It was there where Lawrence began to focus on his passion for the art of dance. I didn't say hand dancing. I said the art of dance. Big difference. Lawrence was talking to me about Fred Astaire before I knew who Fred Astaire was. And he was very serious about that and explained to me how he studied Fred Astaire's turns. Lawrence and I actually took dancing lessons. He made me promise to never show his kids pictures of us in our dance recitals. As Catherine Swan will tell you, we had some very silly looking costumes. But Lawrence was always on the front row when we had our dance recitals, for obvious reasons. He was special, real special. Little did we know that his dancing skills would translate and manifest himself on the basketball court. I think a good way to put that is Harry Brockenberry, who was Lawrence's teammate, said when Lawrence had the ball, you never knew what he was going to do with it. But you knew they were going to score. Lawrence taught us to be optimistic and learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. He was so charismatic, he got my mother at age 77 to take smooth and easy lessons. 77. For me, he has been an inspiration to achieve, an example to follow, and a friend with whom I've had many great experiences. Lawrence, I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Influence our grandfather had on all of us. We all had a lot of different favorite memories of him. We remember him how he was a man of many talents, belonged to many groups, and still made time for us individually. We knew him as a charismatic, loving beacon of wisdom, and a man with impeccable style and class. We had to share our grandfather, but each of us always felt he was our own. He always seemed to have answers for all of our troubles and had no problems walking us through it, the solution step by step. Granddad exuded love and laughter and overall sense of acceptance when in his presence. His salmon and crab cakes could have won an episode of Top Chef. He taught some of us how to shoot a jump shot and how to make a left-hand layup, just as well as he taught some of us the smooth and easy way. Although we thought we had more time, he gave us all unique memories. But there's one memory all of us had, and we will never forget. He was a legend. He was full of love and strength and was encouragement to all of us. And we all wanted to stuff more memories into this. But 2 minutes, like he said, is not enough. You know? Thank you.
I always try to get out when I have these opportunities, because my father touched so many people, and I noted that without God touching him, he wouldn't have the talent that he had. And I really want us, sometimes when we have these moments and we cherish my dad and we love him, and sometimes we borderline, idolize them, which I'm not going to get into that right now. But I want us to really be focused, and I want us to really look around this room and look at everybody that he touched, and everywhere he touched: basketball, martial arts, UDC, computer information system science, hand dancing, all of the family. I mean, he was a remarkable, people put titles on him. As his son, and my family would say this, the title that I really want to put on my dad, he was a premier educator. And he taught everyone, and he took pride in teaching, making sure he taught people whatever it was. I mean, when we played basketball, I mean, literally, we won. My guys back there, we probably won about 4 or 5 championships. I mean, we literally won like 5 years in a row, undefeated, didn't lose a game. I mean, it was just remarkable. And then he took on martial arts. My older sister, Vera, who's no longer with us, and my uncle Kevin, who's no longer with us, they would come home with these big old trophies, and and it was because of my dad. And I regret, Mom, you took me out of that class, but that's another instructor hit me too hard, and I came home crying. So, and she wouldn't let me go back. But anyway, and when they would come home with those trophies, I'm like, dang, I should have stayed in Kempo. But anyway, last but not least, I just would be remiss. We have to acknowledge God, and we have to give all praises to God. Without God, the Creator, we wouldn't be here. Without God, the Creator, Lawrence Bradford wouldn't be here. We have to give all praises to God, and I could not have said that. And I want my children to know I preach this. I'm gonna preach this till I die. All praises due to God. I don't care what happens. All praises due to God. We would not be here, every last one of us. Everything that we're enjoying right now, it comes from the Creator, and to the Creator it will be returned. Amen. Merciful. I started to write up something, but I knew 2 minutes wasn't enough, so I said, let me just go off the heart. First and foremost, I want to thank God for allowing all of us to have this experience with Lawrence Bradford. What I see here and all the love we received during the time of preparing for this has truly been symbolic of his grace and his love towards everyone. One of the things that I really want us to gather here, that Lawrence my dad was truly a great man, but he would not have been the man he is without God touching him. And by the grace of God, he is the man who he has become. So I'm gonna keep it short. Wow. I'm a little stuck for words. I hate to cut this off short, but that's all I can say. I can't come up with nothing right now. I think you all have said everything about him. You all have said everything about him, and I can't reiterate and repeat it anymore. But he was truly a great man, no doubt about it. And I appreciate and respect all that has given him guidance and wisdom in his life. And amen. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Good morning, church. This is beautiful. I had a chance to be a student of Bradford, Lawrence Bradford, and now have an opportunity to work with his son, Dwayne, and we've had some and still having some beautiful moments. I would like to read a letter on behalf of the mayor and condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Lawrence Edward Bradford. As the mayor of the District of Columbia, I wish to express my deepest condolence for the loss of your loved one, Mr. Lawrence Edward Bradford. A degree of computer information systems science landed Mr. Bradford's information technology career, which included work at the Brookings Institute and years of dedicated services to the residents of the District of Columbia and the DC Department of Parks and Recreation and the University of the District of Columbia, UDC. An outstanding athlete, Mr. Bradford was an 8th degree black belt in Kempo martial arts and was highly accomplished in the modern Japanese martial arts Aikido. Such were his accomplishments in basketball at UDC that he was inducted into UDC's Basketball Hall of Fame. As founder of ECO, and as founder and ECO of the Smooth and Easy Dance Institute, Mr. Bradford almost single-handedly revived 1950s DC swing, better known as hand dance. Mr. Bradford won numerous national and international hand dance awards, exposed tens of thousands of people to hand dancing, and with enthusiastic teachings and thanks to his advocacy, the DC City Council made hand dancing the official dance of Washington, D.C. Mr. Bradford's dedication to hand dance was exceeded only by his devotion and lifelong commitment to his children, grandchildren, nieces, and nephews. As you gather to celebrate the life of Mr. Lawrence Edward Bradford, may you rejoice in the knowledge that his work and his life inspired many, that have his legacy will live on in the hearts and minds of those who live and he have touched. On behalf of nearly 700,000 residents of the District of Columbia, I wish you peace and solace on this difficult time. Thank you.